Hey, I'm Ploopploop and welcome to this tutorial. This tutorial will be about CineMachine. It is a essential package in Unity that you can use in order to make cutscenes and a whole lot more. The extended version will cover pretty much everything that there is to know about CineMachine, but this tutorial will focus on how to create your own simple cutscene. In this tutorial we'll be using a third-person controller with a environment in which we will build our own cutscene that will be toggled, and after the cutscene is ended it will go back to the third person controller. In order to get started you will need to have CineMachine installed. You can find this at Package Manager in your Unity registry. After you have installed CineMachine, right click in the hierarchy to select CineMachine and a Dolly camera with track. In the CineMachine virtual camera we are not going to use the aim, so make sure to hit do nothing. After that, create a new camera object and add a component CineMachine brain. In our CineMachine VCam, we want to set up the body. Make sure to select for position unit distance and for camera up the path. After setting the basics, we can start creating a track at the Dolly track. You can create waypoints and you can drag them and you can eventually angle them with a roll as well. It's similar to building a track in Roller Coaster Tycoon. In the CineMachine VCam, you can always change the path position to test how your camera would look at a certain position in the path. We are also going to create a 3D cube. Make sure to check is trigger, and you have to add a rigid body as well. Make sure to toggle use gravity off. After you've set up your track, we are going to create a scripts folder with two files in it, the CM cutscene and the cutscene trigger. The CineMachine cutscene file will make use of the Dolly card, and we are going to get this by using the CineMachine track Dolly component. This is a CineMachine specific component that you can get from CineMachine Virtual Camera, so we will need to use the CineMachine. The main logic behind this file is that we are going to increase the travel distance over time. Once the end of the distance has been reached, we will wait for an X amount of seconds, and after that the cutscene will have ended. We'll be using a coroutine in order to make the cutscene wait for 2 seconds near the end of the animation. And the cutscene trigger will simply just enable and disable game objects. It will also tell to the cutscene class itself when the cutscene will start, and once the cutscene is finished, the file from the CM cutscene will tell to this one that it can stop the cutscene and that we can go back to the third person movement. By using the cutscene trigger, make sure to assign the objects that apply to your situation. I'm using Unity's third person package. Yours might be different if you're using something else. When you've finished writing your classes, make sure to set the inspector settings for both as well. You can find the path length for the CM cutscene in the Dolly track. It's above the waypoint, named as path length. I rounded up to 54 in my case. And also, don't forget that your player needs to have a tag called player. You can choose to disable a mesh render for the cube that you created that is serving as a trigger. With everything tested and working, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. The extended version will be shortly online on my Patreon, so make sure to check that one out as well, as it will cover a lot more about CineMachine.